Today I'm going to show you how to fake calligraphy on invitations. I recently helped my younger brother and his now wife send out about 200 invitations. This saved them about $3 to $5 per envelope, which really adds up quickly. I'm not a professional, I'm an amateur. You can see my most basic design starts with a Sharpie, and I've penciled out the address already. So this is just using my typical handwriting, drawing slowly, obviously sped up, but all I'm doing here is thickening the downstroke, and so that makes this look as if I am a calligrapher, and I most certainly am not. So I'm just shading in. You can leave a little gap in the middle of your shading if you want it to look a bit reflective or glossy. And then I'm just going in and erasing the pencil marks. So this is the easiest one. Get together with a friend or enlist your partner to help. If one of you is neater handwriting, you can draw it out in pencil beforehand, and perhaps the other person could go over it in Sharpie with just tracing what's already there. So this one's pretty simple. The next one involves a Tombow pen. So this is a brush calligraphy pen. It can give you more professional looking results without the hefty cost. It takes a little bit more skill. I've spent a lot of time practicing my calligraphy. It's by no means at an expert level. It's pretty basic, but I can fake it well enough. So if you want to try your hand at it, that's a little bit more of what that looks like with a brush pen. And then here I just have an archival ink pen that I'm using to write out the address. So the way that I write my addresses is typically with just big block letters. You want to keep it very legible, and you also don't want to go overboard with the calligraphy. So you'll see I mix a little bit of cursive and print to keep it interesting, but the main idea is to keep it legible, and just the names can be in that fancy calligraphy style. You'll see I use these lines and spacing out the zip code to make it look more interesting, and also to fake that it's centered. And here again I'm just thickening that downstroke to make the town look a little bit more interesting, a little bit more brush scripty. And then you can add simple little things like these accents here. And then this is one of the more involved ones. Here I have just an embossing pen. So you'll see it looks like some kind of invisible ink. It comes out very light pink. And you'll see this isn't even a typical calligraphy F, it's just one that I'm comfortable with. So don't worry if your style varies from mine. You can look up some neat alphabets that some artists use, or just go with your natural handwriting. And then I have some embossing powder here. And so you're just going to do this the way that you would typically would as if you were using glitter in art class. I'm recording this around the 4th of July, so you might be hearing fireworks. So just shake that out, make sure it's pretty well covered, and then use your heat tool. I think this one was only $15 or $20, I'll link to it. And you're just going to warm up that embossing powder, and you'll see it start to melt together. And it'll turn into the sort of calligraphy foil effect, which I love. It's pretty quick, pretty simple, pretty inexpensive, especially compared to hiring someone to do this. But again, it can be a little bit more difficult to read, so I would write out the address in a darker marker. Again, using that fake centering technique to make it look like I planned this out. So these are just freehand. You'll notice the first one was a little bit more centered with the pencil behind it, but again, that takes a little bit more time to go back and erase it. And don't worry about it being perfect. It's really about giving it that homemade touch and just making it stand out when people pull it out of their mailbox and smile. It doesn't have to be perfect. There's enough planning to worry about. This doesn't need to be exactly what you imagined. And there you go. 3 easy ways to address your own invites. Good luck!